Chapter 1277, A Qualitative Chain. Upon hearing Mr. Fool's words, Alger's heart skipped a beat. He suddenly felt the feeling he had when praying to the Lord of Storms on Pasu Island. When he greeted the fool, he didn't notice any changes in him. Everything seemed to be the same as before, but at that moment, he believed that Mr. Fool was different from before. This was something at the spiritual level, one that Alger wasn't able to describe accurately with words. He only felt that the body that was enveloped by the grayish-white fog contained a terror that was tens of thousands of times more terrifying than before. A simple sentence or simple action could suppress a person's natural order. Mr. Fool has awoken further. After the world went to the forsaken land of the gods and brought out the city of silver, Mr. Fool went one step further in his awakening. He already has the level of a sequence 0. If it wasn't for the fact that the sailor pathway is sensitive to the level of a high-ranking person, I wouldn't have even noticed it. Alger wanted to say something, but he forgot what he was about to say. Leonard surveyed the area and saw the other members remain silent. He probed. According to the information we have gathered, there was indeed a battle of gods. The participants that have been confirmed to appear high above Backland include the Evernight Goddess, God of Combat, and Earth Mother. As for the outcome, I believe everyone knows it very well. What are your thoughts on this? During the tarot gathering last week, Leonard had already mentioned the corresponding matter and had taken the initiative to ask Mr. Fool what had happened. Unfortunately, Mr. Fool only told him that he was recently paying attention to the forsaken land of the gods and didn't give a direct answer. I can't understand why such an outcome would occur. Earth Mother and the God of Combat should have collectively defeated the Evernight Goddess as a mother-son duo. Catlia didn't conceal her puzzlement. Alger retracted his thoughts and said after some deliberation, I received a report. Just as the war ended, Faina Potter changed sides. This means, Audrey vaguely grasped something. At that moment, Derek mimicked the lady across him and raised his arm. I roughly know why. You, Imlin uttered a voice of distrust. After all, the son had previously been isolated in the forsaken land of the gods, so his understanding of the outside world was all thanks to the other members of the Tarot Club. How could he know more about the details of the Battle of Gods than everyone present? Alger, who knew that the son had always been honest, suppressed his curiosity and excitement from the bottom of his heart as he asked in a deep voice, why? Derek looked around and calmly said, you have to promise with Mr. Fool as a witness that you can't reveal what I'm about to tell you. No problem, Catlia took the lead. After everyone made a promise to the fool, Derek nodded. Earth Mother isn't the giant queen, Umbella. The real Umbella has long died. Her remains are in the City of Silver. This news was like a bomb that landed in the hearts of all the members. It created a massive upheaval that threatened to destroy their minds. For a moment, Alger, Audrey, and company were unable to say a word. It was as though they had been struck by lightning. They were paralyzed in their positions like stone statues. After a while, Leonard asked in disbelief, are you sure? As soon as he said that, he began regretting his question. Since the City of Silver had the remains of the giant queen, Umbella, it meant that the whole matter was highly credible. Subconsciously, Audrey, Fours, and Zio cast their gazes at the figure at the end of the long, mottled table. They discovered that there was a smile in Mr. Fool's eyes as he maintained his sitting posture without any changes. This indirectly means that he is in agreement with the information that little son just provided. Before Audrey answered the son's question, she nodded indiscernibly and said, this can explain many things, but if Earth Mother isn't the giant queen, then why would Angel of Fate or Roborose believe that she is Umbella? Oh, why does the God of Combat want to work with her? Who is she? Upon hearing Miss Justice's series of questions, Alger suddenly felt a little emotional. The topic of discussion amongst the Tarot Club had finally raised from kings of angels to true deities. Previously, although they had stopped the descent of evil gods and had communicated knowledge of secret histories, they had rarely directly discussed the true deities. This was a subconscious fear, a deep mark left in them due to their upbringing in the present world. And now, the members of the Tarot Club had unknowingly lost the reverence that came from the depths of their souls. Katlia didn't notice this as she focused on Miss Justice's questions. She said thoughtfully, perhaps that Earth Mother has always been disguising herself as Umbella. This has managed to fool the Angel of Fate as well as the God of Combat. How is that possible? Zio instinctively muttered. Forz took a deep breath and said, what a horror story. At that moment, the world, who had been silent all this time, said, nothing is impossible. What if this cover-up had the assistance of the Evernight goddess and other true deities? A conspiracy that lasted for 2,000 to 3,000 years. Alger's eyes froze as he instinctively shrank back. He had an instinctual fear of the Evernight goddess and Earth Mother that stemmed from his soul. The Tarot Club members fell silent once again until Leonard repeated Miss Justice's final question. Who exactly is Earth Mother? As he spoke, he looked at the world, Klein Moretti, and attempted to get an answer from his former colleague. At this moment, they heard a long-awaited knock. It was Mr. Fool knocking on the table. Audrey and company perked up as they turned to the end of the long bronze table, waiting respectfully for Mr. Fool's answer. The Fool Klein chuckled and said, I can give you some hints. He looked around and continued, why does the Church of Earth Mother like to turn the sanguine into believers? The Earth and Moon are two neighboring pathways. Legend has it that during the second epoch, the ancient god Lilith, who represented the moon, died because of the giant king's betrayal. She occasionally responds to the sanguine's prayers, as though she hasn't completely perished. After the 4 prompts, all the Tarot Club members, including the Moon Emlyn, thought of an answer. Earth Mother's true identity is sanguine ancestor Lilith. Emlyn's eyes widened as he instinctively sat up straight. His mind was a mess, as all sorts of ideas ran through it. Leonard was first astonished before he muttered in thought. A few days ago, the Church of Evernight stopped promoting the title of Lady of Crimson and changed the prayer sign from the crimson moon to that of stars. As a high-ranking Nighthawk deacon, he was qualified to read the corresponding documents. The Evernight goddess used the authority of the moon domain as a bargaining chip. Katlia said the conclusion that lingered in everyone's hearts. At this moment, they no longer had any doubts about the true identity of Earth Mother. Thank you for your hints. Audrey immediately bowed to Mr. Fool. After the others expressed their gratitude, they looked at the Moon Emlyn, who was still looking stupefied. Mother Goddess is the ancestor. The ancestor is Mother Goddess. So I've never changed my faith. It's no wonder I still continue going to the Harvest Church even without Father's corresponding psychological cues. That's because my intuition told me that the Mother Goddess is the ancestor. Therefore, the ancestor has favored me and made me the savior of the sanguine. Thoughts flashed through Emlyn's mind as he found a reasonable explanation for the guilt he had previously felt. He began to believe that he was the most devoted sanguine. Glancing at the Earl, Forz smiled with interest. Mr. Moon, perhaps you might become the Archbishop of the Church of Earth Mother after some time. No, it should be the sole sanguine representative of the Church of the Earth Mother. This writer immediately came up with a nickname. Why? Emlyn asked in puzzlement. He believed that the ancestor would allow the sanguine to maintain their former state and not merge with the Church of Earth Mother directly. Leonard smiled and said, since the Evernight goddess doesn't have the title of Lady of Crimson, Earth Mother will soon have a similar honorific name. It's impossible to fool the other churches. Emlyn roughly understood what the upper echelons of the Church of Evernight were thinking. He nodded slightly and began imagining a series of scenes. His kinsmen, who had previously mocked him for believing in Earth Mother, would queue up in front of him and accept his baptism. With this in mind, Emlyn's mood turned extremely happy as he couldn't help but raise his chin. After the exchange, the members of the Tarot Club fell silent for a moment, not knowing what to say. A few seconds later, Alger broke the silence and calmly said, most of our members are demigods, so the time it will take to advance will lengthen. Furthermore, we have our own factions. We might need a few years before having a single chance of obtaining Beyonder characteristics, potion formulas, and sealed artifacts. The focus of the gathering now might switch to exchanging information and engaging in secret cooperation. Audrey, Katlia, Leonard and company nodded in agreement. At this moment, the fool Klein surveyed the area and chuckled. With the matter regarding the forsaken land of the gods over, my condition has recovered quite a bit. You can exchange items of higher levels from me. He pretended to be calm as he revealed the truth that he was recovering. This was an answer that every member of the Tarot Club had long guessed. Just as Audrey and company were guessing which level Mr. Fool had awakened to, Klein smiled and added, "Those items of higher levels include the sea god's identity, level, and strength,